Sanjeev, great having you. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope all is well.
Thank you for calling me. All good. Thank you.
The pleasure is ours. I would love to, or rather me and Pankaj spoke about this, and we would love to divide this conversation with you into two halves. One is to talk to Sanjeev, the investor, to get the larger picture, and then to talk to Sanjeev, the entrepreneur, the man behind InfoEdge, about how does he see that business taking up. If that is okay with you, I'd love to start with Sanjeev, the investor.
Sure.
Okay, great. So Pankaj was making this point about the size of the internet space in India currently, vis-a-vis IT services, how IT services have grown in their life cycle, and how because of Jam Trinity, the government support, the whole ecosystem already there, how quick and how pacey can the growth of the internet businesses be? We would love to understand how you think about this.
So look, the two businesses are very different, or the two sectors are very different. If you look at IT services, it's largely export-led, indexed as the US economy, it's B2B, right? And therefore, it's a different market size, and different market opportunity. It's also 30 or 40 years old, and therefore matured, right? The internet sector, by and large, for the most part, is India-focused. So you are dependent on Indian market size. There are some companies that are servicing overseas markets from India, but by and large, it is India-focused. And therefore, you are indexed to Indian GDP, Indian economy size, Indian market size, and Indian GDP growth. Therefore, the two cannot strictly be compared, right? Because they are different businesses. Internet businesses are by and large very often more tech and product. IT is IT services, right? It scales with headcount. Less so now, but it is traditionally scaled with headcount. Internet businesses are less service-oriented, more product-oriented, and they scale less so with headcount, right? So they're very different. They both represent good opportunities, both represent potential profits, and in some cases already profit, as such as InfoEdge. But they have to be looked at separately and independently.
Yeah, most certainly. I'm sure Pankaj would have a throw there. But just trying to think it around, independent of how you look at internet services versus anything else, how do you envisage the growth curve of this to be? Very often it is said it will be a Jacob effect. In users, yes, maybe at some point of time in business and profitability too. How do you think about it?
So we don't look at the sector. We look at company by company, right? And that's how we invest. We go bottom up. We look at smart entrepreneurs doing interesting stuff. We worry about market size later because when you're transforming markets, when you're creating new markets, market size is hard to predict. And therefore, if we find that there's something useful being done, it's solving an unsolved problem, it's getting some natural traction. So when we went into Zomato in 2010, they were doing 1 lakh rupees a month revenue. But the important point was it was a useful thing. People liked it. We were using it. We liked it. It was solving an unsolved problem. It was growing every month in traffic and traction with zero advertising. The team was good, and therefore we went in. And we went in with a small amount, 4.5 crores. So we said, let's get our toes into the water. Let's see how it goes. The next round was 13 crores, and next round, and so on. That's how we went in. So slowly, small size, nibble, and go in. That's the best way to go into early stage companies and early stage markets. You take a lower risk. As the company figures it out, you put in more money.